So we have the Falcons, Panthers, Bucks, and Saints in that order.
Here we go.
Starting off with the Falcons, the team that lost Julio Jones.
Nice.
They replaced him basically with Kyle Pitts. We'll see. I mean, Matt Ryan. Let's start off with Matt Ryan. Is he a quarterback that you're targeting whatsoever this year?
I told you guys before, right?
Not a chance.
I love Calvin Ridley, though.
Yeah,
Right.
Just because there's literally no one else for Matt Ryan to throw to. So I think Calvin Ridley, by volume alone, is just going to put up monster numbers.
That's why I
Right.
like Pitts too.
He's going to be the Devontae Adams of last year.
Right.
You think so?
Like, yeah.
That good?
Because, I mean, he has the talent, he has the quarterback, and he has the volume. Like, there's literally no one else to throw to.
Right. So even with Julio last year, Matt Ryan was mostly
28.
he was mostly on the waiver wire from what I remember in our leagues. Like he was like probably
Yeah, no
if
one
you
ever
needed
saw
him, you
him.
would pick him up, but he was not really rostered that much.
After week 3, he fell off.
for
Week
sure.
4.
So now without Julio, I'm not touching him. If I'm desperate, obviously, Calvin Ridley is probably going to be like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of someone last year that just got absolutely
He'll
fed.
probably lead receivers in targets. don't
For
you?
sure,
Who-
for
oh,
sure.
100%,
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of a
He has the
receiver.
clearest path to, like,
He could
number
be this
one.
year's Diggs. I could
I was just thinking that.
see
I was going to
Diggs.
say McLaurin, but
I think he's already better than Terry McLaurin. I could see him being like Diggs.
Yeah, I
Just
was
because
thinking
of
that.
just the volume that he's going to get. Like he could end up being like, I don't know, late first round next year. But this year he's probably like early second.
he's
mid,
early second.
Yeah,
Already. He's like the
depends.
third,
Depends on
fourth
the running
receiver.
back runs that we in drafts that people go on.
He's
But-
in a category with Tyreek Hill and Devontae Adams.
And then an AJ Brown behind.
These
him
are
and
the
stuff.
only
Yeah.
3 where they have an elite QB. There's no other receivers on the team, so they're going to get all the targets. And they have the talent, like the game script going for them. Like they're just going to like eat.
Right,
He's going to get so many targets.
right.
Yeah, I mean he's being drafted top 5 receiver.
Yeah, no, that's where he should go
yeah,
based off
yeah.
of expectations.
Yeah.
How about I guess the next
Pitts.
best fantasy relevant player would be Mike Davis.
Yeah.
Pitts you could make an argument for, but I'd say just because of running back, you go with Mike Davis.
That's my guy. Sleeper.
They
I like
let
Davis.
they let Gurley go. I think Ito Smith is gone too. I think they just have that Brian Hill
Yeah,
guy.
Right.
the only thing he has going for him is his volume, which is the most important thing for running
And he's a
back. So
pass
I
catcher.
think he's like a safe pick for where he's going.
Right, he's a good flex
He's like
player.
he's
Yeah.
like 6th round.
They
He's
haven't
not going to
signed
win you
anyone
a
else.
league, but he's a good like depth guy to have. Like
He's
as
a
your
good
third or
flex
fourth.
play, I think.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, at best. He's a good
more or
pass catcher too, and there's passes to be had, receptions to be had because of Julio leaving.
He'll go 5th round?
6th,
No, later than that.
6th, 7th in a PPR league. So like 7th
Someone-
in standard.
I don't know if he'll
Someone could
fall
reach
that.
for him, but there's
Because
also
I wouldn't draft him that high.
The thing is, there are teams that will have maybe like in the first 4 rounds, 3 receivers, 1 running back, or something like that.
Yeah.
They'll need a
That's
solid
what I'm saying.
RB2.
6th, 7th.
yeah, it all
and Mike Davis is around there. They'll take him.
right. It also depends like if how quickly earlier rounds like the running backs
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
So that could be a factor.
I'd have someone like Damian Harris, honestly, over someone like Mike Davis.
maybe.
Damien Harris is
maybe.
right now going around 8 and 9.
Like, it just scares me how little they're going to run the ball.
Yeah.
overall
Yeah.
as a
That's
team,
true.
you know
But
what I mean?
but he's
Yeah.
probably going to stay on the field for that. That's the
Right.
thing. Like he'll be he's a 3-down back in that
Goal line
offense.
carries, like, he's
right,
the
yeah,
guy,
he proved
so-
it in Carolina. You just got to stay healthy.
Russell Gage. though.
Russell Gage, I mean, he had his weeks
Waiver
last
wire,
year
yeah.
when Julio was hurt. I could see him being like an end of the bench guy, like late round guy, like someone targets and like
I mean,
see
Pitts
what
is
happens.
going to be the
Right, he's a
second
he's a
receiver.
second option. Pitts, I wouldn't put him top 10 tight end right off the bat,
Well,
but
true,
like
I know he's so hyped, and I get the talent, but like
It's
it's
just
just so hard for
tight
rookie
ends,
Tight ends
after like the top 3 suck, or top 4.
Yeah.
suck.
It's because of Jonu and Hunter Henry.
even still, not
Yeah.
odds are both of them aren't going to have great years fantasy wise.
That's what we're saying.
in real life, that pick by them probably wasn't
No.
good. So
Yeah,
it really wasn't that great of a pick
No.
for them. They probably should have gone quarterback or something like that, but that's a different story. I could see myself targeting Pitts as like, my second tight end if I have enough bench spots left and like just to see what happens.
I don't think he'll fall that far.
To be honest
Probably
with you, with
not.
Devil's Advocate, I've seen him in a lot of mock drafts go in the 7th, 8th round.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
where his
Probably
ADP
should, yeah.
is.
And then
I wouldn't take him there.
No, I
No,
wouldn't.
that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't take him there. In my opinion, he's like 9, 10,
If I don't
11.
get one of those top tight ends, I'll just wait.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
of
not
course.
worth
That's
it.
that's
If you
what you
don't
should
get one
do.
of the top 3, then it's not worth
Yeah.
Right.
drafting.
Right. This division too. I mean, tight end's already kind of desolate, but like this division's not that great either. Like he's probably the best one in the division. I know Tampa has OJ Howard and
Who's the new
great,
tight end
but
on
it's
the
like
Saints?
And Gronk.
oh, I forgot about Gronk. Yeah,
We always forget about Gronk,
Gronk.
but like the guy went off in the playoffs.
why did I forget
and
about Gronk?
Who's the
Yeah,
new
it's
tight
just
end?
like
Saints tight end. They said he's like a player to watch. I forgot who it is. I don't know if he's a rookie or there's someone they moved. I can't remember.
oh Topman or something. They took him last year.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're saying watch him for some.
Yeah,
odd
but their
reason.
quarterback
Wait,
situation's kind of
Jared Cook.
is
He went to the Chargers.
Oh wow, I did not even like
Yeah.
realize that.
Yeah, they should have kept him probably.
Yeah.
You can't see what happened with Michael Thomas, but anyways, the Falcons, another team, probably bottom 5 defense in the league. So that's another. Brady's gonna play them twice a year. He's gonna light them up.
But
I
like
can see
Matt-
Sam Darnold lighting them up. Like,
That's the thing though. Matt Ryan's capable of like being in shootouts. With
Oh,
his
yeah,
team.
for sure.
So that's why the offense, like, you trust these guys to go off.
Right,
Calvin
right.
Ridley,
Calvin
maybe
Ridley,
Pitts.
I think-
Mike
pick.
Davis.
I
even
think-
even another receiver maybe will have some good weeks.
yeah, I think if any team in the league, just about like the Falcons have the most like 30 to 30 something score, final
Yeah.
score. You know, like
Yeah.
absolute shootouts.
Yep.
They have probably the most potential out of any team in the league. I'd say them, maybe the Chargers, maybe even the Jags, like we already mentioned with Trevor Lawrence, depending on how he looks with their defense. They're definitely up there with one of those teams, and that's what you really want for fantasy for the most
in a
part.
PPR league, would you take Calvin Ridley at pick 15?
He's probably going earlier
Even
than
in
that.
standard league, I take him there. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's probably
Yeah.
going a
Yeah.
little before
He,
that.
Second round.
PPR, Calvin Ridley's probably jumping.
If I'm picking at or near the turn, I'd pick like any one of those top receivers and whatever of the top running
Because
backs are
in
like.
my idea, I have 10th overall. Then I go 15th, if I did the math correct. I'm thinking about going Eckler and then Ridley right there
Yeah,
if he slips.
that's
If he's
he
still
gets
there,
out.
for sure, that's
Yeah.
a steal if you
It's
get
a
him.
steal. That's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking right now.
Yeah. But anyways, the Panthers, who I kind of mentioned with Darnold, they kind of they're going to be somewhat of a new team this year. They lost, I think, Curtis Samuel. They have a new quarterback in Sam Darnold, and Christian McCaffrey only played
Reunited with Matt Rule.
Yeah,
Darnold is.
yeah. So Christian McCaffrey only
Reunited
played.
with Robbie Anderson.
Yep.
There you go. That was his
Exactly.
guy.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
got
This guy.
his possession guy in DJ Moore, who's going to fill that Crowder role.
Right.
They have
They're
a
very, very low.
they have a rookie receiver.
I like
balanced.
their
Yeah.
players. I like their current ADP right now.
Yeah.
Everyone on their team, I like their current ADP.
Right. They improved their O line a little bit. They kind of went after that. But the thing is, it's Sam Darnold. Like that at the end
Do
of
you
the
trust
day.
Sam Darnold?
Nah,
I do. I'm ready.
Here's
Really?
the thing.
Seriously,
I
I'll
don't.
explain.
I don't trust him in the sense that I don't think he's like a great QB, but I do think the Jets have a way of making players seem a lot worse than they
Yeah,
are.
the gates.
That's
That's
what I'm
true.
saying.
That's true. It just depends on if like he's too far gone already. Like that's really what it
He'll
is.
be
Yeah.
better than he's been with the Jets.
That's what I'm
How
saying.
Yeah,
much
for
better
sure.
is we'll
Yeah.
see, but
But
He
look,
has to be better
has
if he's
two
not, then
solid
he's done.
receivers. He has CMC to dump everything to.
he actually this is the most talented
Talented.
offense he's been on.
Oh, yeah.
sure.
Really good
For
offense
sure.
for him.
He's never had a weapon like CMC.
For
or
sure.
That's
DJ
what I'm
Moore.
saying.
Yeah.
It's a very good situation.
He'll be good. I think he'll be good.
So
but-
Christian McCaffrey's
Like
still
I would,
number one
I'm
pick.
what I'm saying is he's good enough that DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson will be fantasy relevant.
Right.
Yeah.
I would never start Darnold. You're not going to draft
No.
him.
No.
But DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson, where their current ADP is, like in that
It's
5
solid.
to 7 round range.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, outside of Cam, this is the best quarterback potential wise that they probably played
That
with.
they've had.
Yeah.
Since prime Cam.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
Cam
So-
wasn't known
Right.
in his prime for his passing.
Same.
Right.
No.
More so for McCaffrey. It's more so for
Yeah.
McCaffrey.
McCaffrey.
You know, like he's played with who since Cam left? Kyle Allen, Teddy Bridgewater.
And like he's still gone off, which is crazy.
right. So he's
McCaffrey's
in.
one of the few running backs that just is so fucking good.
Yeah.
He'll put up numbers with anyone. I
Yeah,
think.
you just said it,
Yeah.
and it's.
He's your number
Yeah.
one pick. Like,
That's, yeah.
They, I
It's
think
the
they,
biggest no-brainer.
they have a late bye too. I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
they're like
they do.
bye. They've
if
week
you want to
13
flip flop like Dalvin Cook and Derrick Henry, like that's a fair argument.
Yeah.
I think you could go
for
either
2
way
and
on
3.
that.
Yeah.
But
Number
like,
one.
CMC's locked in at number
Yeah.
one.
Now, my big question for you guys is because I've been always thinking about this because there's certain people in my league that I know are kind of scared of McCaffrey's injury problem. Where do you
Yeah.
guys see that going? Like affecting his role in fantasy?
I think he's healthy. Like
I mean,
can't-
you could say that about any of those top
Yeah.
running backs because
Yeah.
they're
Of
all
course.
coming off
Dalvin,
seasons where they had a
Kamara,
lot
exactly.
of carries.
Yeah.
So
Well, Dalvin Cook tore his ACL. and he came back, and look how nasty he's been so far. And he's healthy,
McCaffrey was
knock on
hurt,
wood.
but if anything, he's got the rest.
Yeah.
So, he could come back, and he sounds like he looks great at camp and everything. So,
No, I'm just being like a devil's advocate. I
Yeah,
guess,
yeah,
putting
no,
that out there.
that's
because
fair.
I've ever heard that complaint, I guess.
It's crazy to think about. Usually, guys coming off an injured year are not first overall pick.
No.
But CMC still is. That just shows how good he is.
yeah. This team might have the worst tight end situation in the league.
Oh, we were talking about Ian Thomas.
Ian
and
Thomas.
Then, Arnold from Cardinals.
Yeah. So
you're not touching.
Wow.
I said it before. This is just an awful combination for their tight ends. You have Sam Darnold, who never used really his tight ends at all in the Jets.
Yeah.
And you have the Panthers, who haven't used their tight ends since
And if you just
Greg
look
Olsen.
historically at Matt Rule's offenses, they just don't
Right,
utilize tight
right.
ends.
They literally
Not
haven't
a
used
tight
it since
end.
Greg Olsen's heyday. So,
Yeah, exactly.
so you're not touching anything like
Let
that.
me put it to you this way: if they planned on using tight ends more, they would have gone out and found a better tight end.
Right.
You know what I
100%.
mean?
Did
the
they-
fact that they feel comfortable with those tight ends tells you that they don't plan on.
They don't
using
care
them a lot.
about it.
I kind of forgot or I missed it. Did they add a third receiver on that team?
Yeah, they drafted someone.
Did they? Okay.
I'm blanking out on the name, but they drafted.
Terrace Marshall.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, that's a good
They've been
pickup.
talking about him at camp a lot. So
That is a good-
He's a good. He
have one
he had
more,
a lot
I
of
can't
hype coming
remember.
out of the draft.
I like that pickup a lot for them.
They have one more.
it's just fantasy wise, I don't trust the Panthers to have 3 fantasy
Yeah,
receivers.
Sam Darnold's not good enough.
Look, it didn't work
Yeah.
last year. The only reason it worked with Curtis Samuel is because they used him more like we talked.
Like a running back.
Running back.
Swiss Army
Exactly.
knife.
But- he was out
if,
for most of the
if
year.
Robbie or DJ Moore were to get injured, then he becomes very fantasy.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's another LSU
So
receiver.
he's one that if you want to
He
stash
could-
on your bench,
Oh,
Could be
no,
like
no.
a Justin Jefferson, just something happens, boom, he goes
I
off.
remember. It's really grimy. Do you guys remember David Moore from the Seahawks?
They added
Yeah.
him.
It's him.
So they have
I
2
think.
more
Oh, he's
now?
on the team?
I think so. If I'm not
wow.
mistaken, I think it's David Moore.
Yeah, and their
Nothing big.
defense, yeah, they took J.C. Horn with their first round pick, top 10 pick.
Hey,
but
Jeremy Chin.
Jeremy Chin was a good steal. I would have wished the Patriots kind of got him instead of taking Duggar.
He's really good.
But hey, what are you gonna do?
really good.
Anyways, they're not much more. You're not touching them. They're not much higher than the Falcons' defense or whatever I said about
Basically,
them. So,
we're looking at 2 receivers and CMC.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's it with them. I mean, they could sneak into the wild card depending on how Sam Darnold looks. That's
They could.
you never know with the extra team.
I don't see. I know we're gonna probably talk about them next. I don't see the Saints making the playoffs.
No, not without Breeze.
No way.
the Saints. Yeah,
They might be close. Maybe I'm being
I've
dramatic.
never
But
seen a QB situation like
That
what's
messed
going on
up.
with the Saints.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
where you genuinely have zero idea who's gonna start week 1 and
Right.
I mean,
and
Jameis-
whoever starts vastly changes the team. You know what I mean?
Right. So, yeah. So Taysom Hill, I mean, it sounds like they're going to give him the first chance based off of last year and what I've heard so
They
far.
don't want to turn over the ball with
from a
Jameis.
fantasy
Yeah.
perspective, it's better for Jameis to start.
Yeah.
Right. For
Yes.
the players around.
Yes.
him.
And Kamara especially.
I'd be
Yes.
more bullish if I knew
Yeah.
Jameis Winston was the starter.
Right.
But I think without Thomas, they're thinking, let's play it safe and go with Taysom.
because he proved himself last
It's
season.
like
a little.
our situation with Cam, you know?
Yeah.
Being
I
a
mean,
run-heavy team, safe.
I
Maybe
just-
their defense, plays well.
yeah. I look at Kamara and I'm like, I don't want to draft him. I would probably
know.
take Saquon over him.
But
And
then
I
he had the finals of
Kamara is in that
production.
same category as CMC, where
Yeah,
he's proven
he's-
he can put up numbers.
he
with
is,
anyone.
but
Don't forget what he did the finals. He put up.
I know
53
he
ball,
did,
whatever
but
it is.
here's
Yeah,
the
with
problem.
Taysom, right?
Yeah.
Here's the problem. Michael Thomas foot surgery is out. They don't bring Jared Cook back. Emmanuel Sanders is
He's
gone.
gone.
Their second best playmaker outside of quarterback, Taysom Hill obviously can make things happen with his legs. Their second best playmaker on that team right now, as their health stands after Kamara, is his backup running back in Latavius Murray,
yeah.
which is disgusting to think about.
I still love Kamara. I'll take him at 5.
I'll
or
always
wherever
love
he's
Kamara.
getting
I
drafted.
just love
He's
him.
gonna get so much volume, and he's so nasty.
But they're going to stack
so
the
good.
box. That's a team that's going to get the box stacked against them for sure. While Michael
you say
Thomas
that,
is
but
out.
I mean, look at last year. Whenever Drew Brees was injured, they tried to do that, and
Look,
he still.
I have
That's
a couple
fair.
of things.
That's fair.
I had no running backs. Big Ben went down, whatever. I didn't draft a QB. Who did I go pick up? Taysom Hill, right? I didn't have Kamara on my team, so I didn't feel the effect. But Taysom Hill was able to do
He was
some
serviceable.
stuff.
Yeah,
He
he
was
got
able to-
rushing scores.
He had some impressive throws after he got comfortable with throwing. He had some 30-yard out
Sean
bumps.
Payton's a
Yeah.
smart coach. He draws
He's
up
not
good
stupid,
plays.
yeah.
as good as Kamara was,
got
last year,
affected.
he did go. I mean, him
Yes.
going down was like a normal week
Yeah.
for like any other player, but he did get a hit when Breeze was out.
Yeah.
Which is
So-
why you're not going to draft him top 4.
No, I would
3 or
I would take
4.
I would take Zeke over him for sure.
Really?
I would.
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I
I would
personally
take
disagree.
I mean,
I would go CMC,
Dalvin.
Dalvin, Derrick Henry, Kamara at 4 probably.
Maybe if it's PPR, but standard, I'm definitely taking Zeke over him.
I'm sticking by
It's
guns.
it's
tough.
not wrong to say
This is
Zeke.
it.
Like
No.
I
not.
personally would take Kamara, but it's not wrong to take Zeke
Yeah.
over Kamara.
I have more love for Kamara. Like, I've had him multiple times in the past. I've always loved the Saints jersey Kamara. Like, it's sick.
They have a good O
gold.
line.
Their O-line's good.
They have a great O line,
yeah.
so that helps him. But it's just like this is just they've seen injuries, they've seen other things there. Like this is never before seen in that
Look,
offense.
Sean-
Like this is a turnover on
like
this
we
team.
said, Sean
you know?
Payton's smart. He can start
Yes.
getting into play action, sweep stuff with Kamara getting the
I
ball.
mean, you
somehow
saw it
magic.
last year too.
Yeah.
Like they used them a lot in the slot.
So,
Like
yeah.
they'll find
Well,
creative
they'll
ways
find-
to get him the
It's
ball.
just Traquan Smith being their number 1 receiver going
And
into
then
the year. Is
Deontay
like,
Harris from Assumption
Yeah,
College
man.
year speed. Isn't he like the kick returner?
do we have a timetable on Michael Thomas's?
they said going into the year
Not
potentially
anything big.
2 to 3 weeks.
Weeks,
Yeah,
I
not
heard.
anything crazy.
So
Yeah.
it's not that much.
No, it's not bad. But so speaking about Thomas, where do you take him?
No, you don't take him.
I just,
No, I'm kidding.
No, you
he'll
got
be drafted.
He'll be
just-
drafted. I just don't touch him.
Yeah, I won't.
He's not going to be on any of my teams. I'll tell you that.
What do you think? What round do you think he goes in with this injury?
Probably go like 6, 7. I feel like
5th, 6th, depending on the
someone taking a flyer. You know,
Yeah, if he falls there, I'm probably taking him.
Yeah.
exactly. There are
Yeah.
people that'll take him
Yeah.
if he
But
falls.
people
Yeah.
took him last year in the 3rd and 4th.
Because like
Look what
you,
happened.
you want
No, he was he was early.
underestimate-
Last
In my
year.
league, went in 3rd.
Never
4th.
underestimate like the hate that comes from being burned by a player the season prior.
That too.
Like Mixon's in
Yeah.
that category where he
Yes.
pissed you off so much last year that like
He can
he's on
pop up.
everyone's do not draft list.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
Like players like that end up falling farther than they should because they just have such a negative like
Right.
attention from the
Oh, right,
prior
yeah.
year.
if he was voice crack. Sorry, if he was fully healthy, he's probably going still first round. Like I'd say, like maybe even. Well, here's the
way,
thing.
no
No,
way.
if he's fully,
Without
you got to hear me
Breeze.
out first.
Woven hot take alert.
I wouldn't. That's that's too hot.
You
of a
got to
take
hear
for
me
the
out
show.
first because it's
Way
kind
too
of
hot.
because although Breeze is gone, it's
Even
kind of
healthy,
back.
I wouldn't take him in the top 10 receivers.
I take him over. I take him over Ridley because I think he's
no way.
if
What?
fully healthy.
Are
Yeah,
you on crack then?
it's a different bro. They don't.
Ridley?
I'm going based off because we were talking about it before. Receptions that are going around, they lost everyone.
But it's okay.
If a fully healthy Michael Thomas, even without Drew Brees, you lose Jared Cook, you lose Emmanuel Sanders. That's all going to Michael.
Like-
He's the best receiver.
but look-
fully healthy, he's probably the best receiver in the league.
Vin, I know
With
there's
Probably,
Devontae
like,
Adams.
At least 5 or 6 guys I'd take over Michael Thomas in that
Yeah.
situation.
There's
If he's
stats
fully
that back
healthy,
up.
I would take him.
Because the QB situation.
Right, that's a huge factor, but it's just that like Taysom Hill did. I mean, Michael Thomas did better with Taysom Hill than Drew Brees last year when he was healthy.
Yeah, but
So it's like, you know
but
what I'm
it's-
saying?
it's
I
not
think
better-
Michael
better
Thomas benefited from Taysom Hill on the field more than Kamara did.
Of course.
So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
But-
there would be more receptions.
But
This is
like,
all hypothetical.
It wasn't even. He didn't benefit like a crazy amount. Like he didn't go off. He scored every now and then. Like
yeah.
a decent.
He was hurt though too.
Yeah.
So it's like, fully healthy with the receptions going around and the way that he looked with Taysom Hill last year. And like you said, Jameis is probably even better for
yeah.
receivers. I think he's still top 3 or 4
If
receivers
Jameis was
fully.
the
If he was
QB,
going into
I
it healthy.
might agree with you, but I
Yeah,
just
it's
don't
not-
think they throw the ball enough with Taysom.
That's fair. Yeah. No, I'm just saying fully healthy. He's still like early in my eyes, early second round pick.
to defend what you're saying, let's not forget, what was it, 2 seasons ago? This guy wouldn't drop a ball.
He set the record.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Right? There's that aspect.
Yeah, because he was number 1 ranked receiver. What last
Yeah.
year, right?
I think
2
he,
years.
going into it last year, he was
Going
the
into
number 1
last year?
receiver.
what do you
Yeah.
have? Only like 3 drop balls or 4, something like that.
He set the record for catches.
Yeah.
This is all hypothetical. He's not going into the year fully healthy.
The
He's
healthiness, I think he's like on his decline with the health
Agreed,
aspect.
yeah.
This
We'll
means he
see,
can't
yeah.
ball
We'll
still,
see.
but I think health-wise,
Some of these guys,
I've
yeah.
learned the hard way to just not draft players who are injured still going
Right.
into this.
you'll take the
Right.
risk of taking someone else over
If
him.
my team is
Yeah.
set, if
100
I'm comfortable with my team and it's set, I'll take a flyer on him and
Yes.
throw him on the
Obviously.
No
IL,
question.
whatever,
No
IR,
questions.
and see what
Yeah,
happens.
if it's a
and-
point at the draft where my starters are set and I don't have to rely on him, then sure, of course.
Right,
You
because
got
if he comes back and he looks the way even half of what he did,
Yeah.
he's like potential league winner.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
later,
Yeah.
if you get him late
like
enough.
something goes wrong on
But
your
you
team,
don't
yeah.
want to draft someone who you can't start for a few weeks, and then when he comes back, he ends up getting injured or like aggravating
Right.
something else.
Exactly.
Like,
Right.
that's too risky to take when you're still trying to fill out your starters.
Right.
So like 6th to 7th looks like the ballpark.
Yeah.
More or less.
Yeah, that's what I said.
So even with him hurt, like now that Michael Thomas is, we've kind of set where we would take him. It's really just him and Kamara you're taking in drafts.
Yes.
You might take Traquan Smith like a Russell Gage situation,
Maybe.
like in the last couple rounds. Because again, even when Michael Thomas comes back, he's technically the number 2 receiver. But I'm not touching their tight end. I'm not touching
No.
Harris, whatever his name is.
If anything, Latavius Murray.
Latavius Murray, yeah. He's probably going
always
before
your-
Traquan Smith.
he's
Yeah.
always-
If you're the
He's your
Camaro
cup.
owner, you have to get.
You have to get him. It's your cup.
But he's one of the higher cups.
Yeah.
But even
So-
still, I can see someone else that's running that needs running backs getting Murray at some point.
Yeah.
Right.
could.
Right,
Load
yeah, of
management.
course.
He's one of the most. He's one of the top
With Madison.
cups.
You
Yeah.
could potentially start him to start the season
Yeah.
with Taysom Hill as
In a
quarterback.
flex, yeah.
Run heavy offense.
Yeah.
Going with double running back too.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be
we saw
surprised.
that
Yeah,
with Taysom.
if they're gonna have to probably line Kamara up as a receiver a lot of times with Michael Thomas
yeah.
out,
And then
so-
run Murray from the back.
Yeah,
Right.
so that's kind of now that I really thought about that, it's pretty gross. Like, not a lot of guys to take. Yeah,
Very gross.
PPR, you're chilling with Kamara. Looks like no matter what.
Bucks are gonna run away with that division, huh?
we jumped the gun because the Saints were technically the division winner last year, but
I
we
know.
talked about them first. But it's all right. So we'll go with the Bucks. They were the Super Bowl champions, anyways.
Super Bowl
So
champs,
Best for
TB12.
last.
The GOATs.
it's their division to lose. It's their division to. They're gonna run
it's
away
Brady's
with
league
it.
to lose.
Yeah, it really is. yeah,
Literally.
it really is.
By the way, last time I checked, Brady's being drafted as like the QB8.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous. He should be a
Dude.
top 5 QB.
Well,
Yeah.
don't forget, because the owner who had him in my league last year, I won't forget, he had him all year. He kind of sucked the first like 6 weeks. He was like
Yeah.
getting 15, 16 points if you're lucky.
But
mean,
that
yeah,
was
the
with
Bucks
half
as
his
a whole.
team injured. Don't
Yeah.
forget,
No,
he lost
yeah.
OJ Howard like right off
AB
the
wasn't
bat.
there.
AB
Gronk
wasn't there
really
yet.
productive yet.
Gronk was still trying to get back in football shape. Chris
Godwin
Godwin
was
missed the
there.
first
In a
week.
Evans was dealing with
Evans
stuff.
was
COVID
on and off with
offseason,
injuries.
he got to a new team.
We know now that he was playing on a bum knee all year. Like
Figuring out Ronald
think
Jones,
about now
Fournette,
with
yeah.
a healthy, everyone coming
Yeah.
back, full off season, everyone's healthy. Like last year was his floor
Yeah,
with the Bucks. Like he's
He's
only gonna
golden
be
as
way
an
better.
option.
Yeah.
He's golden.
yeah,
But now the receiving core is the
His
problem.
only knock is that he's not going to give you the crazy upside of a rushing QB,
but-
which
Right.
is why you don't take him like top 3. But like,
and people are gonna keep downing him too. Like
Yeah.
he is getting older.
Yes.
So like
But he hasn't
us as
shown any signs of it
us
yet.
as Patriots fans, we know not to doubt
that-
it, but
yeah.
people are still
Is
waiting
that
and waiting
injury
and waiting.
problem, though, that they mentioned that he
What?
supposedly played through the
His MCL.
Yeah, is that a problem?
I mean, it wasn't a problem last
No,
year,
yeah.
so
That's
he's
what
not.
I'm
It's not like he
saying.
runs.
No,
so
but I'm
who
saying-
cares?
no, it was like
Yeah.
a very minor
Minor?
surgery.
Right,
Like,
and he's not a mobile
go
quarterback
back
anyways.
anyways.
So
And
it is what
I
it is.
saw footage of him like right this week from training camp.
Yeah,
like
he
he's
looked good.
like throwing on the run. Like he's he's not,
Right.
So
he's
now the
good.
big question, I guess, is what happens to this receiving core? Now everyone's there, healthy,
Yeah.
ready to play.
Yeah.
If this is a
If
problem.
you look at the last few
Too many
weeks
people.
last year when all 3 were like healthy
Yeah.
and playing at the same time, they were all fantasy relevant. Like they were all putting up like 10 points
Yeah,
each. Which
eight-
none of
AB
them
was
are going to
even
win you a
flex-worthy.
league. Like none of them are going to get enough volume to like win you a league. But in my mind, all 3 of them can be solid wide receiver 2s or better.
But
Yeah.
you still have Scotty Miller as an option there. Gronk
Yeah,
takes
he'll
away
be
targets.
fantasy relevant.
Yeah.
But that means you're at 4 receivers at that point with AB,
I
Godwin,
mean-
Evans.
I mean, Scotty's not like he's real life relevant, but he's not fantasy relevant.
No, I'm not
The
saying
more thing, so you have 3 receivers and you have 3 tight ends.
Yeah.
And you have 3 running
They still
backs
have
now
Bray.
too.
They still have
They
Bray.
still
Yeah,
have
they
Bray,
got
yeah.
Gustav, Bray,
They-
Gronk, and OJ Howard.
And
there.
they're- yeah, and they're
It's
running
a lot of
backs.
mouths to feed. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
It's good
So it
Brady
limits
is
all their
sweet.
upside
I would love
because
Evans or Godwin for sure.
Yeah.
Like,
But
I
they're
wouldn't take them out.
Brady's gonna
drop.
eat. I'm telling you guys, Brady's gonna eat this year. Like,
Yeah,
I
of
love him
course.
at
If
his
everyone
age.
stays healthy, he's the one, again. It's like Trevor Lawrence. He's like
Yeah.
the benefactor. Like no playmakers are really going to go crazy because there's so many mouths to feed.
Yeah.
But when there's so many mouths to feed, that's huge for the quarterback.
Yeah.
out
So
of everyone, you'd probably want Evans and Godwin.
yeah, of
Yeah.
course. They're probably both. I'd take him in the 3rd round. I wouldn't take him
Yeah.
in the
They're
second.
going 3rd, 4th
Yeah.
interchangeably,
Yeah.
depending
Yeah.
on your
Yeah.
fit.
definitely
That's
not
reasonable.
second. Like
No.
3rd, 4th is fine.
There's the injury issues too. Like you
Again,
have to keep
like,
that in
they
mind.
both
have
have
very
history.
safe floors, barring injury.
Right.
Like
Right.
They're
So-
both similar. Concussion, a little
the
tweak
biggest
for a week.
value besides Brady on that team, I think, is Ronald Jones, based on where he's being drafted. He's
Yeah.
going like around 7th.
Yeah.
Dude, even with Fournette there all of last
he was
year, they
productive.
both were very
The
productive.
problem is they signed Gio Bernard too.
Yeah, pass catching running back. I mean,
That's the only
I
thing.
think that's more of a LaShawn McCoy
Yeah.
It could be.
replacement than
It could
is,
be.
because Ronald Jones or Fournette aren't really.
Because Ronald
pass-catching
Jones
running backs.
wasn't known for his pass catching.
But
Yeah.
he developed it a little throughout the season.
Yeah.
But you have to remember they're going to be blowing out teams so much this year. Like they're
That's
going to
fair.
be in a lot of running.
You think that, but it seems like Brady still wants to throw on these teams after last year, even when they were blowing teams out. So it's like, what the hell is going on? Like,
Breaking records.
yeah, I mean,
They also have an easier schedule this year than they did last year.
Right.
by the
Their
way.
division sucks.
Yeah.
right. They have the division sucks. They were technically the second best team. They finished second.
Yeah.
So they don't play the best team in each division.
Oh, that's true.
So there you go. That means they're going to play who?
So they won't versus the Packers.
They play the Vikings. The Vikings finished second in their division,
Yeah.
and their defense is all well. They've improved.
Vikings-
They're one of the
Upgraded.
teams I want like a piece of the offense most.
Yes.
you know what
Right.
I mean,
Them
Yeah.
and the Chiefs.
yeah.
Right, of course. It's just crazy. I've never seen a team with like a unit like each offensive unit outside of quarterback obviously
They
has like
literally
three
have-
guys.
Yes.
They have
yeah.
three elite receivers and at least two elite tight ends.
ends.
Right.
Basically.
They have you have Godwin, AB, and Evans at receiver. You have Brait,
It's
OJ
insane.
Howard,
Big
and
runs.
Gronk at tight end. You have Ronald Jones, Fournette, and Gio
They're
at
more
running
than
back.
enough
Like
for that team.
yeah.
all those guys
And
could
you
end up on a team
you
at
could
some
have
point.
like 3 to 4 players every week getting a touchdown.
Yeah.
So like you're
It's
not
a-
gonna necessarily
yeah.
see one player get 3 most likely. You know what I mean? But they're all just gonna consistently get you 10 to 15 points.
Right.
The running back
Every
is the
week,
only,
like,
not scary, but I guess the running back situation in that offense is probably the most, not touchable, but like
Right.
you should stray
Hard
away
to
from.
trust every week.
Yeah.
I mean,
The receiving is fine.
But
Yeah.
again, like they're gonna be in such a great
Yeah.
game script to run the ball. Like when they're blowing out teams.
Yeah.
Like,
But Brady is throwing. That's the
they
problem.
have the best offense on paper in the league.
Yes.
Deepest, best,
in a
whatever you
few
want to
years,
call
probably, I mean, right? Like on paper, at least.
it. I'd say right now they do.
Yeah.
The Bucks. Yeah.
I'm saying right now on paper they have the best team that I've seen in a few years.
Right.
Like
and then
Yeah.
they have
As a
they probably
talent,
have the
like-
best defense too.
No,
That's the problem.
no, don't get
No,
me
you don't
started
think
with
so?
that, no.
I think they have
Their
the best
defense
defense
is
in the
massive.
league.
top 5 for sure.
Top
five.
3.
Yeah, please,
I'd say
yeah.
top 3.
My biggest thing is
who's better than
Which
them?
again, their defense is gonna get turnovers. That's extra
Yeah.
possessions.
Yeah.
Like, even
Who's
though
better
there's a
than
lot
them?
of mouths.
Rams?
to
No, I
feed,
want to.
like,
I want to
see the-
hear it. I'm
it's the
interested.
Pats.
No,
Yeah.
not right. Not yet. It's too soon to
Bro,
know. It's too soon to tell.
But sorry, everyone when they think about their defense, they're only thinking about realistically the Super Bowl win.
Rams defense is probably number 1.
the Bucks were a great defense all year.
They were a great
I put them over the
I think
Rams
they're
too. The
way too
Rams have
early.
like the 2 best players
yeah.
on their defense probably in the league, but like they lost some guys too. Like they have Ramsey and Donald,
Yeah.
but like they lost Brockers. Like they have some other guys that are
I'm
gone.
not saying any specific order, but I see the Pats, bro. It's Bill. It's gonna work.
Yeah, I mean
it's
they're
gonna work.
They're
Let's be
up
real.
Pats will
there.
be up there for sure.
I'm saying the Pats. What's their name? The Browns.
Yeah,
I don't know
the
if
Browns are
Colts
up
is
there.
better, but the whole
I put
situation messed up.
I think number 1 and 2 is Bucks and Colts, in my opinion. You put the
Don't
Steelers,
forget Chicago and Steelers. That's what I was gonna say.
Chicago. I put Pat's top like 10. I
I'm
wouldn't
not
put him
doing
top
with
5.
bias. I'm
yet.
just thinking about how Bill can coach that.
Yeah. I mean,
Defense
they
is unreal.
improved a lot.
Unreal.
I'm just saying the
This
Bucks.
defense is better than that Super Bowl win. Defense.
But point being, the Bucks
Yeah.
from a fantasy perspective though might be one of the best defenses.
value.
Yeah.
Because think about how many turnovers they're gonna get. Because like they're just gonna be blowing every team out, and these teams are gonna be having
force
to
it.
play play
Right.
from behind. Like
forget
they're
the
gonna be one of
Yeah.
those high turnover teams.
I think they're the
forget
number
the
1
turnovers,
defense
bro.
right
They're
now,
not going
in
to
my
get
opinion.
scored on, maybe.
Yes,
yeah.
Because their offense is so gruesome. Like, they're going to beat
Brady-
them up.
yeah, Brady's
than
gonna
the
wear
other
him
team's
down.
defense.
Yeah.
So think about that, too.
And he goes against these horrible defenses
Yeah,
in his
exactly.
division. Like the Saints are probably the next best one, and they might be. They're always like borderline fantasy usable. The Saints defense for the last few years they kind of
Yeah.
have been, but like who do they really have outside of what's the corner again? I always forget his name.
Lattimore?
Lattimore. Like who do they really have
They lost
outside of Lattimore? They have like
who's their
some
linebackers,
good
right?
pass
Did they
rushers,
lose
but
Kiko
Cam Jordan.
Alonso?
They have Cam
Cam
Jordan.
Jordan's
they have
their
Cam
line.
Jordan,
Yeah.
but he's kind of getting up there in age.
He is getting old,
so
yeah.
it's like
Alonso's gone, right?
who cares? He's,
No, but like that was like one
he's
of
all
their
right,
guys.
but like it's not like
I
a
don't know
make or
if-
break for
no.
a defense. Brady's gonna tear these defenses up. The Falcons
yeah.
and the Panthers forget about it. Like
Yeah.
You
it's
may see them
awful.
even sit them out. That's another problem. You can
that's a
I mean,
potential
yeah,
like
that's
second
absurd,
half
yeah.
like players that sit.
Sit.
And then
That's
they
another
drafted
thing I
Kyle
just
Trask,
realized.
so you could see what they get in Kyle
That's what I'm
Trask in
saying.
the
That's
second
another thing
round.
to take a look at. Running backs is where they excel in those games. Second half game script is going to help
Right.
the running backs.
But I mean, if it gets to that point though, that means Brady's already put up his numbers. Like,
Yeah.
True.
You're not going to
Yeah.
be complaining that they're blowing out teams by too much.
Right. Right.
They really didn't do that last season anyways, that bad.
Yeah.
That's how comfortable they were with this roster. They took a quarterback in the second round. Like they're already taking the guy that like is going
brought
to
everyone
succeed
back
Brady.
like
Yeah,
that.
they
Yeah.
literally brought everyone.
first team
they didn't
Super
lose.
Bowl.
Anyone they
6-7.
drafted would have just been for depth because all of their starters came back.
Right. They signed
On
everyone,
both
and
sides.
there's injuries.
Keyshawn
Yeah,
Vaughn.
this guy's coming back.
That's
Keyshawn
the other
Vaughn.
thing. I don't think people realize how rare that is. That it's almost never happened where
Yeah.
like literally
Literally
everyone comes
every
back.
single
the
person.
next year, like,
Right.
That's
right.
nuts.
He's still there too. It's crazy.
Yeah, they're
Everyone's
the top dog in the league, not just that conference
it's crazy
or
to me
division.
how confidently like you see ESPN analysts and other
Yeah.
people like ranking Chiefs at 1.
Yeah, because they love the Chiefs
Like
and
it's,
Mahomes.
it's them too for
They're
sure.
the new
but, like,
team.
Right.
They love to look at them as the new dynasty. You
Yeah.
know, like
Right.
That's all it is.
Mahomes is the face of the NFL.
Right. So we've done pretty well with time.
How much are we at time?
We're just under an hour now.
Ooh, we did
So-
it quick this
Did
time.
we get all the teams in that?
Yeah.
We did, yeah.
Wow.
So we're gonna do the quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end breakouts and busts. We're gonna do a total for all 8 teams just to save some more time here. Thanks for that idea, Kevin. And we'll start.
guy.
We'll start with you, Greg. So of all 8 of those teams, we'll go with breakouts first. Oh no, actually, I'm
Okay.
sorry. Give me your breakout and your bust.
All right, we doing QBs first.
QB.
QB breakout. I'll do. I don't want to go obvious. You know.
Just someone that is getting drafted at a certain point, and like you think they're gonna just outplay that ADP.
I'll go Lawrence. I feel like that's kind of obvious though.
That's fine. No,
I'll go
that's
Lawrence.
fine. There's a lot more options than normal because usually we only have 4. Now we have 8. So there you go.
Lawrence, because I really think he'll be like a Joe Burrow of last year.
Hopefully without getting injured.
Yeah. Bust, I'd say. Let me think.
A lot to think.
There's a lot of shitty, like.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because some of these guys aren't even getting drafted. You're not drafting outside of Watson. You're not drafting a Texans quarterback.
I'll go Taysom Hill, I guess.
Taysom Hill, where he's getting
Yeah.
drafted. All right. That's fair, yeah.
But like, see, the thing is,
You don't want to say that about
there's
Taysom, right?
like Brady. Out of all the guys we've talked about, quarterbacks, Brady, Tannehill,
Lawrence.
and maybe Lawrence. The rest, no one's gonna draft.
Right, yeah. For
know
the
what I
most
mean?
part, yeah. Those are really the only 3 that I could see going
But go. You
legitimately
guys
in
go.
drafts. So go ahead.
I mean, yeah, I would say breakout probably is going to be for me Brady. Again, he's being drafted as like the QB 8. I think it should be more like QB 4 or 5. Bust, I would probably say Taysom Hill, but just to throw another one in there, I would say whoever's going to be the starter for the Colts.
Yeah.
Basically, anyone in that division that's not Trevor Lawrence is a bust.
So kind
Or
of
Tannehill.
not to throw
Unless he
you
gets taken too
yeah.
early.
not to throw you guys a curveball.
Ooh, I like it.
I really thought so. I've talked to him about it. I don't know if he remembers. I really think this is a chance where we see Sam Darnold, based off his 8 not even being draftable, he could kind of excel.
I like that. I
He can't
think
get
that's-
any worse. He can't get. You can't get any
Yeah.
worse.
It's like I said earlier, the stink of the Jets is off him. Like,
yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
If he looks like Sam Darnold of the Jets or is worse, his career's over after this year.
yeah.
So
But I'm saying that if he shows some like flashes, he can throw down the field. I think he can be like if I'm not saying he has to be like 20 times better, but if he's good, like a little better, like you could actually stream him with that offense, right?
Yeah.
Because he can run a little. He has CMC has a target in the red zone, and he has Robbie and DJ Moore. So that's like my, I guess, like boom.
Yeah.
That could potentially happen. My bust, like you said, anyone who ends up on the Texans, even if Deshaun's there,
There's
anyway,
just no talent on that
Yeah.
roster. On
None
either
at all.
side of
you
the
can't
ball.
do anything with that team.
yeah, I'd say just so we don't all say the same guy. Or you already said Lawrence. Like obviously,
Alright,
you know
you
how
say
I
it.
feel about him. I'm gonna go with Tannehill just because like he is probably the next best out of these 2 divisions put together. He's probably the next quarterback after Brady. But like we've never seen him with an offense like this before.
Yeah.
So
Good
I
answer.
really want to see if he's taken at the right price, the right round and ADP, whatever you want to call it. I think he's huge breakout potential. And bust, I mean, you guys obviously said, Taysom Hill, and like, we're not drafting these guys. A guy that I could see getting drafted in general and doesn't deserve it, like we already said, is probably Matt Ryan.
Oh, Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan.
Oh,
like, that's a bust, like, that's just because people know what he's done before. He's a former MVP and like all that, and he puts up fantasy numbers sometimes. He's just so inconsistent, especially now without Julio. He's a bust. That's just me.
I agree.
Yeah. What do you think of running back?
Running back.
This is easy.
What? Both?
Yeah, they should be easy.
I mean,
You have options. That's why I'm saying
I do have options.
It's not too slim.
I
especially
guess
for
I'll
bust.
go. Okay, I'll go Mike Davis to perform well.
That's a good
Or
one.
to
Yeah.
outperform
That's where I
his
was going
ADP.
with
Yeah.
That's probably like, I feel like a lot of you guys will say that. To underperform, even I don't want to say.
We have like 4 first-round running backs
Yeah.
between all these,
You're gonna say Kamara, aren't you?
No, I love Kamara. I love him.
CMC.
I was thinking Taylor. That's kind of obvious too.
Yeah.
QB situation, but with Marlon Mack back, Nyheim Hines is there. Taylor's very talented, but I think he's gonna underperform.
The bust meter is going up very quickly on him.
Yeah, even now with the QB situation, he's still getting drafted like early second round ish.
He's still getting drafted first round, believe it or not.
dude,
No,
and
for
that's
sure.
way too high.
And
And
he will.
I don't think he's gonna underperform that. I think so. Yeah, I guess that's my pick.
I would probably pick Ronald Jones for my breakout, again, based on where he's being drafted. If you look historically at Tom Brady's offenses, they always produce a top running back. And it's usually because of touchdowns, because they're just such a high-powered offense that they're always on the
Like
goal
James
line.
White, you're saying basically.
Yeah, exactly. There was the year...
Blunt.
Yeah,
Got all
one
those
year there's a
touchdowns.
running back that gets 10 touchdowns for
Yeah.
the Pats. So,
He led the league in touchdowns that year.
Yeah.
Wow.
They had like 13
so
or something.
I would
Yeah.
pick
like that,
Ronald Jones because of that, and then my bust is probably going to be James Robinson
Yeah, that's fair.
for all the reasons that people have
Now, I'm
talked
trying to think of not to be repetitive of mine.
I love going first because I can say the obvious
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and then everyone's trying to be creative. And pick
yeah, I'm
something
trying to do it.
Maybe we'll do reverse order this time.
So, for me, depending... Okay, this is kind of like circumstantial, but whatever happens to Etienne, if they use him as a receiver, I can see James Robinson, like, back at it. I can really see that. I could see it.
If they're both usable, you're saying?
Yeah, because I know the game script really isn't thing, but I don't know where James Robinson's even going right now, to be honest with you.
Etienne
Yeah,
I
and
is
it goes
getting
back to
drafted
what we were saying
more, yeah.
earlier. Like, they're so difficult to rank because you have no idea how
Yeah.
they're going to be used
Right.
yet. Like, we don't even have a history for Urban Meyer to go off
No,
of because it's his first
exactly.
year as a coach, like
so
in the
if
NFL.
Etienne becomes more of a receiver, like kind of how we were saying Kamara and like the slot type of situation, that's what happens with them. I could see James Robinson popping back up, but not as
He
good.
did play with Lawrence in college.
So that's what I'm saying. I can see that. My bust, way too easy. Actually, I take my James Robinson. Sorry. Philip Lindsay can be a boom. That's what I was going to say.
Wow.
That's,
Well, like we said earlier, if someone
Yeah,
gets
that's
that's
hurt,
my
been
gut.
saying him.
That's why let me ride that wave. Because I said any injury that happens there, he's the outright number one running back. Obviously, really bad situation, but he has the volume.
Yeah.
Volume pays out at some point, right?
Yeah.
So that and my bust, I can really see thing being a bust. Ronald Jones, to be honest with you.
Wow, let's go.
To be honest with you, really honest with you.
Butting heads.
Because I had him, I traded him in one league, and like my buddy drafted him at like third, fourth round. Didn't perform really. Kind of performed. It's like all over the place. It's not because he's bad.
Right.
It just I understand like the offensive
Opportunities,
power, but the
like,
opportunity because that offense now is going into the season healthy. Everyone's there. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. He may lose opportunity. That's the only reason.
Yeah, no, that's a fair argument.
Yeah.
But again, we're going based off where he's drafted.
Yeah,
Like, I
that's
think
what
he's
I'm-
great value in like 7th
I can
round.
see him drop to like 10th,
Yeah.
11th.
He's the first running back the Bucks, right? Like he's getting drafted before Fournette.
Yeah.
probably, yeah. I'd say they're probably pretty much the same,
And also,
around the same.
just a heads
I'd
up,
say.
the only reason I said Lindsay's because Lindsay's like looking around like 9, 10, 11, depending on your draft.
He might barely be
Later.
getting drafted.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I'm saying he could potential boom. Just one injury away.
I'm going to try not to be, again, I'm the last one that goes. So
Yeah.
I'm going to agree with you with Mike Davis. I really like him. I'm going to try to get him at least in
Yeah.
one league, I'd say, to be my flex guy. It's going to come back to bite me, and I'm going to regret saying it, but like for where he's going and what I've said so far, I'm going to stick with it. Just based off situation and something we haven't seen before, Kamara
I knew you were
as
gonna
the
say that.
bust.
I knew.
Like, I still think he's going to be first round talent, but the thing is, the difference maker in this year is you take Kamara where you take him. He's pretty much gone around the same, especially in standard, like 5, 6, 7 in every year, pretty much.
Yeah.
But you take him with the potential of him being the number one guy. I don't think he has that potential this year. I don't think he has the potential to be the number one overall running back, even number 2 or 3. I think you take him, and he's probably I think at most he gives you where you're taking him.
Remember the
Which
game
is fine.
last year where he had 6 touchdowns?
Right, that was against me.
Wow. Was that was also Taysom Hill, right?
Yeah.
I think
Like,
Breeze was back by then, I think,
Was
wasn't
he?
he? Yeah, that was at the end of the year.
But either way, boo to you, but I respect it.
No, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you take him with the potential that, like, he could be the number one guy. And I don't think you don't agree with me on that?
How many running backs can you say have scored 6 touchdowns in one game?
Right, no, I get it. But, like
Talent's talent, Vin.
you know,
Yeah.
I know. But
Talent and volume are
you don't agree with that take that he can't be the number one guy
I
this year?
respect it.
No, I respect the take.
I
It's not-
100%.
Yeah, I respect it.
I
just disagree with it.
I think he's more likely to finish below his ADP of
Yeah,
like 5th overall than above.
I understand
his
that.
ADP.
I mean,
no, that's a fair
yeah.
argument.
I agree with that take, in the sense that, like, that could happen,
Yeah.
but, like, in the same way, I don't know.
Like,
Like
if-
you're still, I'll still draft him in that spot.
The only,
Yeah, that's
the only
fair.
2 people I can see that are similar players, like in play style and offensive wise, I guess, is Eckler and Aaron Jones can I don't say take his spot at 4, but like he can drop behind them as a catching
I think
back.
Chubb could jump him too if like the
I
right
was about to say
situation
for,
happens.
running on the ground.
Like, I can't see many drafts happening like that.
Right.
But you could argue.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Receiver, right?
Receiver.
You want me to go first?
Should we go this way? You
Yeah,
go first. You go first,
Boom
Sean.
LaVisca.
LaVisca? Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
in love with that guy.
I
I don't
like
know.
that.
He's just talented. And I watched the videos of his like catching. Bro, it's kind of insane. Take a look when you get a chance. And bust. I don't know if it's worth it, but I'm just gonna say Michael Thomas. Regardless, even when it comes on the field, I think he's just gonna blow bad.
Okay. That's fair.
For breakout, I'm gonna pick AJ Brown.
Nice.
I like
Again, based on where he's being drafted, he's going more like around 7 or 8. I think he should be like a couple spots higher. He hasn't had a receiver the caliber of Julio to take attention off him before. I think that's going to help. We've seen clearly like he doesn't need volume necessarily. He's a very efficient player. Breaks off repeated 50-yard touchdowns. Like, that's his game. So I think he's the most likely to break out this year in those 2 divisions. And then my bust is going to be I want to pick Russell Gage. We kind of already talked about him, but yeah.
He's not really draftable.
Yeah, he's really not draftable in my eyes. Like, and Calvin Ridley's going to be the main guy on that offense that you want.
Yeah.
I think to go along with the AJ Brown pick, I'm gonna go Julio.
Yeah.
Because Julio's going behind him, and I mean, both of them, like, there's a very good odds they'll both have nasty years.
They both help each other.
Yeah.
They complement their
Like,
play
yeah.
styles too.
Like, Julio's injury history, I get it, but like, Julio's Julio, you know. Bust, I'll go with, I guess, Brandon Cooks. We've talked about him being like a draftable piece, you know. So I guess I just don't like the Texans at all, and I probably won't end up with anyone on that team.
Yeah.
So I'll just go with that.
Boom or breakout, whatever you want to call it. I think for receiver, just because he probably has the best cornerback matchups in his favor and of anyone we talked about, and he's going to be his second year, so you never know, even quarterback-wise, Michael Pittman.
I was about to say that was a huge hint when he said second year.
So like it's again, it's the second year, he's young. Yeah,
If only Wentz didn't get injured, I would agree with that.
That's
take.
tough, but
To be honest, it really doesn't, in my opinion, doesn't make a difference.
there's been receivers with like worse quarterback
Yeah,
situations.
that's what I'm saying.
That's the thing. And
Yeah,
he was drafted with Eason last year. You know, they practiced together, whatever. And like I just said, like who's he playing against? Texans twice,
Yeah.
Jags twice. Titans still don't have the best, greatest situation cornerback wise.
No.
So regardless, and especially if Wentz comes back, I think out of everyone
Wentz
there.
is coming back.
Right. But if he comes back like and
It's
legitimately
12
can
weeks.
actuly
Yeah,
play, you know?
it's
It's
like-
going to be
weeks.
12 weeks.
5 to
and that's
12.
assuming he
Well, that's
doesn't,
worst case
like,
scenario.
get re-injured.
Injured.
again,
Right.
like-
You know, I think regardless, I think
Or how the
Pittman
rehab
takes like a
works.
really big step this year.
Yeah.
I really do think so. And bust,
Good pick.
I'm gonna go with Shark, just because
it.
like it's
Okay,
just too
yeah.
many mouths to feed.
Yeah.
Like even you're still gonna not get him too early, but I
At
still
the
don't
end
think
of
it's
the day,
gonna
a
be worth
rookie
it.
QB, even if it's Lawrence, cannot sustain three
Right,
relevant,
right.
No one
fantasy
can.
relevant.
Yeah, it's tough.
Exactly.
receivers.
So you want to go tight end? Just
Oh.
close this out.
Wow.
Is
I
there
can't even
I
think
don't-
of a tight
I
end.
know,
Tight end
that's
will be tough.
Like I don't
It's
want
gonna
to
be
sound
gross.
repetitive. Oh my, we're all gonna be repetitive.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Just go ahead
I'm
and do
trying to
it.
think of the tight ends.
I'll go. I think
Okay, I
breakout.
got
Let's do
Yeah,
OJ
go.
Howard.
Okay, that's
He's-
fair.
He's basically not being drafted because
He started good too last season.
But he was before the injury
Yeah.
clearly the most talented tight end of the three.
So would your bust be Gronk then?
No,
No, out of those three, if I had to pick one to bust, it'd probably be Cameron Braid, if anything.
Yeah, but you're probably not drafting him anyways.
No, yeah, exactly. So yeah,
All tight ends.
OJ Howard's I think my breakout, and then bust is really anyone else. Like,
Yeah, it's gross.
I mean, there really aren't. Or I guess I'll go Kyle Pitts. Bust.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him.
I'll pick him as a bust again. Like I think he's getting a little too overhyped because of how high he was drafted. But again, like you look at the history of rookie tight ends, like it's very, very clear. Like he may start breaking out towards the end of the year, but I don't see him like being like a top 10 really tight end
I'm ready to
for
go.
most of the year.
To go against you, Pitts, boom.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that.
I like it. I like the idea because
But that's the thing though. He's a very
Very
polarizing
polarizing
player because
player.
he has the talent.
Yes.
Like,
Exactly.
you could
That's what I'm
totally
saying
see
too.
him bucking
Yes.
the trend.
Yeah.
But
100%.
if you look at the numbers historically,
exactly.
it doesn't happen.
The only reason
but-
I say is just Matt Ryan. Like, yeah, he can throw it to Mike Davis, but
They lost Julio too, you know?
Yeah,
There's
he lost
receptions to be had. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of receptions in a sense. That's why I said potentially. And he's like, where is he going? Like 6th, 7th round.
He's probably going to go a little later than that,
But
realistically.
I can see him end up being like a. Well, if Jonah and Hunter Henry stay here, they're staying.
Yeah.
But after this, he can slightly make his way up.
Top 10.
He's already top
Back
10.
end of the top
I
10.
think he's top 10 already. I can't name you any
Maybe.
other ahead because it's like only person I can see can pass after the season. Maybe Logan Thomas, if Logan Thomas busts
That's fair.
on the list because he's like number 5. We counted all three of
Yeah.
us, something like that.
Last
so he's
week,
my
yeah.
boom. And my,
Robert Tanyan's a tight end that I like
the-
late round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so my bust. People are gonna hate me, but Gronk.
Oh, I hate you.
You
It
can
makes
go.
sense.
No,
There's so many mouths to feed. That's the only reason. It's not hate.
Honestly, I'm gonna go Gronk as my boom.
Okay.
Like carrying off with what he did in the playoffs and Super Bowl, you know? I mean, out of everyone there, like he literally has the best connection with Brady.
Yeah.
Like that's just a fact. They've played together. And he seems like he's healthy. He's not a guy I'd want to start every single week, you know what I mean? 'Cause
Right.
He'll have weeks where he probably won't like catch a pass.
Yeah.
But then he can have another week where he scores 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. That's fair.
My only reasoning when I said bust for him is that not only based off ADP, sorry to cut you off,
no.
but not only based off ADP, it's just too many mouths to feed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to say a bust now. Literally anyone else not named like Pitts. I like Pitts. I'll go Ferkser.
Bust?
Yeah.
That's my boom.
I had a feeling.
No way.
Because he is being talked about as a potential like sleeper tight end.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Well,
I'll just
He didn't do good when Jonah was out.
He did great when Jonah was out last year.
yeah,
He
he
was
did-
he was
he
a
did,
heavy
yeah.
daily fantasy like guy
daily
when things was
fantasy.
out. That's the only reason why. And because like they signed Josh Reynolds like we said, but realistically the third option is Ferkser in that offense. He's a far off third option
Yeah,
from the
drops
top
off,
two
yeah.
guys. But if Julio gets hurt, or he could be a red zone guy too. I think even though he's probably not going to get drafted, he's definitely not going to get drafted. But like he could be like a potential like tight end pickup of the year, like
Yeah,
off
he
of
could
free
be.
agency.
could
That's
be,
that's what
like
I'm
a
thinking
Logan
about.
Thomas last year,
Yeah.
Tanyan last year.
Yeah, I can see it happening. I could also see it not happening. So that's
Yeah.
just to be different and whatever. I pick
Like
him.
that's what the thing with tight end. Like look at all of us. We just all
Right.
kind of went against each other. 'Cause
Right.
The tight end position just sucks.
I'm saying
general.
bust. I'm saying any Titan, any Bucks tight end. Just
Oh.
because there's so many
So
mouths to
wavelength,
feed.
yeah. So
There's
you're
too
on the
many
same
mouths.
wavelength
There's
as
too
me.
many mouths to feed.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Like
That's why you
I
can't
like
trust
I-
any of them any week.
Right. I like them all. You could say the same, not as much for the receivers because like it's easier for them to get
Yeah.
theirs.
Yeah.
But the tight ends, it's just like everyone's so clumped up. And you know they're going to want to try to get OJ Howard going because he's young. So, but Brady also loves Gronk. So it's like, it's tough. You know,
Brady also loves the open guy more than
yeah,
anything,
that's
so-
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Which is going to be all of them.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
nasty.
It's just there's too many mouths to feed on that offense,
That's
and
my only
the
problem,
main
exactly.
benefactor is going to be Brady. So the tight ends there, and like just because like these are the guys that are going to be on teams, and everyone else, it's really just possibly Ferkster during the year. Pitts is getting drafted, and a couple of the obviously OJ Howard and Gronk are probably getting drafted. Everyone else is like whatever, and on both divisions.
Out of all the guys, tight ends we talked about, Pitts is the highest drafted one.
Yeah,
for sure.
Maybe Jack Doyle at some point, but probably not.
No one else
like,
will really be drafted like late round for people that completely punted on tight ends.
Yeah. All right, guys, we did pretty well. You know, hour 16. The last 16 or so minutes was pretty much to the boomer bust. So good job there.
Nice.
Thanks for coming on. Thank you guys again. I'm sure
Thanks for having us, Vin.
You'll be back sooner than later. So
Football season's around the corner.
Yeah,
Hall of
so-
Fame game tonight.
yeah, check it out.
Nice game.
All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.